The United States Energy Secretary just said it out loud. The U.S. military is not ready to escort tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, not working on it, not assessing the situation, not monitoring developments closely, not ready. Those two words, spoken by a sitting member of the president's cabinet, are the most consequential admission to come out of Washington since this war began. Because the entire American strategy in the Persian Gulf for the last 4 decades has rested on one assumption, that the United States Navy can keep the strait open. That assumption just collapsed in a press briefing. And while Energy Secretary Wright was speaking, an attack on 2 oil tankers off the coast of Iraq killed at least 1 person. Oil prices briefly crossed $100 a barrel. Those 2 things happening on the same day are not a coincidence. They are a message. Let's put this admission in its full context, because the weight of it only becomes clear when you understand what the U.S. has been saying for the past 12 days. Trump posted that the strait was safe. The White House said the Iranian threat was 90% eliminated. Central Command announced the destruction of 16 Iranian mine-laying vessels. The official narrative, repeated across every briefing and every platform, was that the United States had the situation under control. Then the Energy Secretary said the military is not ready to escort tankers. These 2 positions cannot both be true. Either the strait is safe and the military is ready, or the military is not ready and the strait is not safe. There is no version of reality where both statements coexist. What Wright said is not a minor qualification. It is not a nuance. It is a direct contradiction of the official posture that the administration has been projecting for nearly 2 weeks. And the market heard it instantly. Oil crossed $100 a barrel within hours. Now understand what escorting a tanker through the Strait of Hormuz actually requires in the current threat environment, because this is not 1987. During the tanker war, Operation Earnest Will escorted Kuwaiti tankers through the Gulf using destroyers and frigates. The threat was primarily mines and small boat attacks. The solution was presence. Put a warship next to the tanker and the risk drops. That logic does not apply today. Iran now fields the EM-52, a rocket-propelled rising mine that sits on the seafloor, invisible to surface radar, waiting for a ship to pass overhead before firing a 600-pound warhead upward. A destroyer sailing alongside a tanker does not protect the tanker from a mine that triggers on the tanker's magnetic signature from the seafloor. Iran now fields kamikaze drone boats, fast surface drones that travel at high speed toward a target and detonate on contact. On March 2nd, one struck the oil tanker MV 52 miles off Muscat, Iran's first verified combat kill using a maritime drone. The technology moved from testing to operational deployment overnight. Iran now fields anti-ship missiles launched from hardened tunnel complexes carved into the Iranian coastline, hundreds of meters beneath rock, unreachable by airstrikes, undetectable by satellite. 12 days of American and Israeli bombing have not touched them, and the United States Navy decommissioned its last 4 dedicated minesweepers in the Persian Gulf in September 2025. 0 specialized mine countermeasure vessels are deployed anywhere in the region. Escorting a tanker through that environment does not mean sailing alongside it with a destroyer. It means clearing mines ahead of it, neutralizing drone boat threats, suppressing anti-ship missile batteries, and maintaining continuous air cover, simultaneously in a 12-mile-wide channel where Iran has the geographic advantage on both sides. The Energy Secretary said the military is not ready to do that. He is correct. Now add what happened on the same day Wright made that admission. 2 oil tankers were struck off the coast of Iraq, at least 1 person killed. Details still emerging at time of publication. But the timing is not ambiguous. Iran does not need to wait for the U.S. to attempt an escort operation to demonstrate what happens to ships that move in these waters. The attacks continue regardless. The message is consistent. The strait and the waters around it are not safe. The insurance markets already knew this. The shipping companies already knew this. Now the Energy Secretary has confirmed it from inside the administration itself. 13 commercial vessels struck since February 28th. 6 seafarers dead. 3 crews still missing before today's attack. Those are not statistics from a contained situation. Those are the results of an active, ongoing campaign against commercial shipping that the world's most powerful navy has not been able to stop. Here is what the not ready admission actually means for the global energy market. Before this war, 138 commercial ships transited the strait every single day. Today, that number is near 0. The shipping companies did not need the Energy Secretary to tell them the military wasn't ready. They already knew. The insurance markets already knew. Lloyd's of London confirmed it weeks ago. But there is a difference between the market operating on fear and assumption and the market operating on an official government confirmation. Wright's statement removes all ambiguity. There is no longer a scenario in which a shipping executive can tell his board the U.S. Navy will protect our vessels if we sail. The U.S. government itself has said it cannot. Not yet. Not now. That changes the calculus for every shipping company, every insurer, every energy buyer, and every government that imports oil through that corridor. 15 million barrels of crude stranded daily. 4.5 million barrels of refined fuel going nowhere. Gulf storage tanks filling toward capacity. When they fill, producers stop pumping. Iraq has no alternative export route. Kuwait has no alternative. Their oil is not going anywhere. Oil at $100 is not a spike. It is a floor, for as long as the strait remains closed and the military remains not ready. And then there is the political dimension that nobody in Washington wants to discuss openly. The United States has maintained naval dominance in the Persian Gulf since 1980. The Carter Doctrine, declared after the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, explicitly committed the United States to using military force to defend the free flow of oil from the Gulf. Every president since Carter has reaffirmed it. It is the foundational assumption of American Middle East policy for 45 years. The Energy Secretary just said the military cannot currently execute that doctrine. Not permanently, not forever. But right now, today, in this moment, the U.S. military is not ready to do the thing it has committed to doing for 4.5 decades. Iran knows this. Iran's supreme leader, in his first public message, ordered the strait kept closed. He did not order it closed because he thought the U.S. would immediately reopen it. He ordered it closed because he calculated, correctly, as Wright has now confirmed, that the U.S. cannot reopen it right now. This is not a military failure in isolation. It is a strategic failure of the entire framework that has governed American presence in the Gulf since before most of the people making decisions in Washington today were born. The retired French Vice Admiral Pascal Aussure told the Associated Press that sending ships into the strait right now would be suicidal. The Energy Secretary confirmed the U.S. military agrees, at least for now. The tankers are not moving. The mines are still on the seafloor. The drone boats are still in the tunnels. 2 more vessels were struck today. 1 person is dead, and the world is waiting for an answer that nobody in Washington is ready to give. We will update you as events develop.